Hey, this is Bill Medley of the Righteous Brothers. Watch Happening Now with Hammer.
Well, how does a green room look like back then with the Righteous Brothers and the Stones and the Beatles?
Oh, well yeah,
I was curious.
Getting back to that story, Phil would be in the studio, and we would be outside in the singing, and they would be laughing and going, and well, you never close your eyes, and they're laughing and crying. We don't know if they're laughing at us, and Bobby had little bigger huevos than I did, and
I hardly doubt that, but
yeah, he called Phil out, and he's into the studio. He said, "Come here." He said, "This is way too distracting. We can't get into it. This is nonsense. You guys are doing one thing. We're trying to do a sensitive song." So we said, "We'll be back tomorrow and have this studio empty," and that's how we did it. But we did it pretty fast once he wasn't doing his show in the booth, you know.
got it. So when you were in Vegas, that was when you were at Hilton. Was it the Hilton? Was that
one of the very first residencies, right? I mean, there was only Elvis was there, and the Rat Pack, and you guys. I mean, that was kind of it for Vegas and residency.
Yeah, it was. And the Rat Pack, actually, Sinatra brought us to Vegas.
Oh, did?
In '65,
okay.
Yeah, at the Sands. 2 rock and roll guys, 25 at the Sands Hotel.
Weren't you a little nervous?
Wow.
And what, three shows a day? 2-3 shows a day, probably?
Three. Yeah, three shows.
Brutal.
Three shows a day.
No, but the brutal part is having the Rat Pack ask you to come to Vegas. You don't know if you're going to be out in the desert or at
Well, you
the
didn't
casino.
know, yeah. And for some reason, Sinatra just liked us. And why he said, you know, because he had to okay whoever was in the lounge, because he would bring his parties in, and he would take them into the lounge after a show. And why, when they said, well, what about the Righteous Brothers? The only thing I can think of is Nancy and Tina must have been in the room, his daughters.
Yeah,
There you go. Said, oh yeah, Dad, get the Righteous.
We love the Righteous Brothers.
Because he didn't like rock and roll, and we were real rock and roll. We weren't, you know, the cute little boys singing the cute little songs.
Well, you guys were the original heartthrobs.
Oh, gee.
Oh,
Come on,
T-shirt.
Bill.
Wow.
Yeah, I still have a Bill Medley T-shirt. I should have wore that one today.
Oh, yeah.
No, but you know, it's interesting.
But speaking of Elvis, you're dressed like him, right?
All right.
Or with
Okay.
boot shorts and flip-flops.
Well, hey, you
just
can
got
only
people
see from
over
here up,
there.
Brandi. Remember the art of TV, okay?
Oh, yeah. This one's not even wearing pants.
Well, think about it. You know, and we're really happy that Bill came today, but one of the things that just happened is that Elvis Presley movie just came out. And Bill, you just saw it, right?
Yeah, I did. Just saw it.
And what did you think?
Well, it was real. I'm going to go back and see it because I loved it.
Nice.
But I was right in the middle of about 90% of that movie.
You lived it.
With Priscilla and him at the Hilton, and I knew all that stuff. And so now I want to go back and try and just sit there and enjoy it. But it was very odd seeing a lot of stuff that I knew was going on, you know.
You told me earlier today that now that Elvis is gone, everybody knew him, right?
Yep.
So, but you really did know Elvis, and you knew Elvis very well.
Yeah, I did. He, you know, he would do an 8 o'clock show. I would do 10 o'clock. He would do 2 o'clock, and I would do, he would do 12 and I would do 2. And so right before his 2 o'clock, I'm sorry, his Elvis who?
No, wait.
I don't
We're driving
remember
a
his
car.
last
Put your
name.
hands at 10 and 2.
Now, when he had his 12 o'clock show, and Elvis would call me on the phone in my dressing room and say, Bill, come down to the dressing room. And this happened probably about 5 or 6 times a week. And I would go down, and it would just be Elvis and myself and his hairdresser. And so I got to spend almost every night about 20 minutes with him, half an hour right before he'd go on stage.
Sure.
And I spent like 3 weeks at Graceland. Matter of fact, we're going to Graceland the end of this month to do a show.
Oh,
at
nice.
Graceland.
So that would be cool.
But he became, a real good friend.
No, but I remember something you said. You were in the wings, and Elvis was about ready to go on, and they were doing his hair and fixing him up, and you took about 10 steps back, and you were kind of looking at the allure of Elvis and go, it kind of dawned on you like, wow, that's Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And I would beg to differ that Elvis, when he watched you on stage, would say the same thing.
Well,
Because I think he had a huge admiration for you. That's why he was always playing with you. And if you wouldn't mind, say, punking you.
You wouldn't be calling you
having
from
a
the
good time
dressing
with you.
room and saying, come on in, if
Yeah.
you didn't have that kind of admiration.
That's right.
Absolutely.
yeah, no, we were real comfortable with each other, and I knew he was Elvis Presley, but once you're sitting around just having a conversation, about 100 conversations with a guy, he was Elvis and I was Bill, and we had a lot in common, man. We loved black music, we loved gospel music, we rode motorcycles, a lot, and he really wanted to be a black bass singer, and he thought I was. so he was. They point out in his movie that he was very influenced by black artists and gospel music,
Yeah, of course he was.
and so were Bobby and I. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, we had a lot in common.
You know what? The stigma of that whole thing back then is it's gone. We'll never have that kind of music. We'll never have that kind of. I mean, think about it. At your age, you're still rocking out, and you're blessed enough that you get to rock out with your daughter McKenna. The Stones are out there. We got one Beatle still doing his thing.
Yeah.
But that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, if we didn't have our vinyl from the days, man, we wouldn't know the
Yeah,
music anymore.
none of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, music has changed dramatically, and a lot of it is because of electronics now in the studio. When I said Love and Feeling had 2 or 3 tracks, today they can do 150 tracks. I mean,
Easily, yeah.
And you're right. The guitar player can be in New York. The piano player could just add it on. And
Bill, is there any new music that you do listen to?
you know what? Oddly enough, I don't listen to music a lot. It's kind of a busman's holiday for me. I get off the road and I'm kind of burnt out, but I love Bruno Mars a lot, and I knew Bruno when he was a little boy in Hawaii.
He still looks like a little boy.
Yeah, he is still a little boy, but he's a talented little boy.
He is.
Wow.
He is. 24 Karat, that's a hell of a song.
Yeah.
He's scary good.
Yeah.
He's remarkable.
Well, that's that Hawaiian blood. They stay young forever,
Ever.
And then Anderson .Paak is really good.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that
Yeah,
duet?
he's
Yeah.
amazing.
What do you think? Are you going to do anything different? You got anything new coming up that you're planning on?
I'm buying a new shirt.
I don't think you should. I like that one.
You like this, the blue one? Okay, well,
You want this one?
yes, I do want that one, but no, I don't. People ask me all the, and I get asked all the time to do duets. I just did a duet with Van Morrison for his new
That's her
his new
fave.
album.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, Van is wonderful.
Yeah, I always ask that question. If you were stranded on a desert island, you can bring one album. What would
Yeah,
it be? And
Troy Davis.
mine is Van Morrison,
He's
Moondance.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Great writer, and a great guy, and yeah. So I did a Vince Gill duet, and I've done 4 or 5. But people say, why don't you record? Go do an album. So man, I'm going to be 82. Been there, done that, and to go chase. It's really to go chase that stuff. It's too time consuming. There's too much money involved. And
I'll tell you what, though, I'd buy it. I'd buy that. If you did duets with a dozen people, that's something I'd buy. I'm just saying.
Well, Elton John wanted to do an album with me and like Paul McCartney and Sting, and he had it all lined up, and the record company dropped the ball somewhere. But he said all of us guys wanted to be a Righteous Brother.
Huh. That's crazy. You know what, Bill? I think where you're at in life is perfect. I mean, you get to hang out with your kid, get on stage with your kid and McKenna, and party every night and do your thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know, when you're 112 and you drop dead on stage, you'll be going, "Hey, I had a great time."
Well, I've dropped dead on stage more than that, probably when I was 25.
Can I segue back to Frank Sinatra? I've been watching this show called The Offer about when they made The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Did he genuinely not want them to make that movie? Was he genuinely that angry about that whole scenario?
Well, I think the Mafia itself had a lot of trouble with that movie because they
didn't want to be known as the Mafia.
Going to be portrayed as the big bad guys or this and that, but I think somehow, some way, they figured it out and they made the movie. Obviously.
Well, obviously they made the movie, but yeah, he
Well, the
he was a little connected. It looked like
the problem with
yeah.
that whole thing is the mob paid for that movie.
Probably.
Yeah, they did. They ended up kind of going full circle.
Hey, there was money to be made off of this movie.
Yeah.
We put the money in, you give it back.
Back to that. Were you nervous when the Rat Pack asked you to come to Vegas?
No. We
Nice.
were stupid enough to not know much about, how Vegas was run, and we just loved it. I mean, come on, we were 25 years old, and showgirls and being a bang and stuff, and Sinatra, and he just was so sweet with us, and he'd call us the kids. Hey kids, how you doing in there? So, but the Italian Mafia owned the joints, and the Jewish Mafia would manage the
money.
Yeah, and the casino took care of all the money, and so we got and that was confusing to me. I didn't know that, but they were so good. They were so, and a lot of the boys guys would come in to see Frank Sinatra. And
the
big guys, the Godfathers, would go in to see Frank, and the soldiers would come and see the Righteous Brother because we were drawing all these 23-year-old girls.
Oh, yeah.
They'd come in, "Hey, kid, who's the blonde over there? What are you doing?"
All the maid guys are over there.
That's exactly right.
Bill, I just want to thank you for coming today and love you to death. Love your music, love your soul. You're a gem to all of us, and everybody out there. Listen, we're going to have, it'll tell them where McKenna and Bill are playing and what he's doing. And Bill, we want you to come back and keep us.
We'll do it.
Let us know what's going on. I know that you're not in Newport that often now, but McKenna's got you in Tennessee. Just a little bit.
I might buy a place in Tennessee. I'm thinking it's just centrally located. Boy, going from California to the East Coast, and then the next night doing a concert at my age is starting to, the 3-hour time difference, climate change, the whole.
I'm sure McKenna's got an extra bedroom.
Well, and we don't want to make Bill perform, but I'd love to hear the first line of that song as we go out.
All right.
What song?
Oh, come on. The one that's played more than any other song in the world, around the world.
Close your eyes. That's it.
Give us a little bit of a Bill.
We're all fangirling over here. Don't worry about us.
We're fangirling. Come on.
Give us a little bit of it, and then we'll.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips.
Guys, it can't get any better than that.
Oh, that almost turned me on.
I got it. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.